when people are talking, conspiracy theorists particularly, are talking about the harsh problems of an America that is becoming closer to Europe, they're missing the point completely, because you can, without having an overall government over Europe and America. America is becoming more a slave of China because of its economic prospects, but China isn't happy either because it's got vast amounts of dollars, and it doesn't want to see the dollar crash. But yet the Federal Reserve is continuing to print off money, and what is it spending the money it's getting from China? It's spending it on nuclear weapons. When the Chinese asked, "What are you doing with our money?" the Americans said, "We're spending it on nuclear weapons." What are what are American consumers spending it? They're spending it not as workers and savers of General Motors as they did in the 1950s. And here Nick will agree with me. When the United States was power was almost akin to Rome's, yeah. Um, they're spending it in Walmart, which is completely just exporting American money to China. The other problem is America's expenditure for its industrial military complex, which is a sunk cost, because I'm America. I make a rifle. You make a shield. You make a spear. I make a bow. It just continues and continues, and China can match the United States if it wanted to. But what we will see is the closer relationship of Europe with the United States increase, I believe, not decrease. While China, we will talk about Asia Pacific rather as China Pacific in the future. Now, the key problems that we need to deal with here are unattainable surplus, the role of central banks and whether they are making the right decisions about the expansion or decrease or contraction of the money supply. Also, I believe that we must back, as the euro is doing, with gold, silver, and commodities, but not so much that it leaves us open to deflationary pressure and the effects of gold commodity brokers who are individuals and are out to make a buck. They're not out to be nationalist or patriotic about the European Union, England, or America. Then they haven't got the concern for the Western world in their minds when they're doing those decisions. They are effectively wearing two hats. They might be Americans, or they might be Europeans, or they might be English, or they might be Saudi Arabians, you know. But their nationality doesn't come into it. They're thinking as individuals in a marketplace. So that's why they make their decisions that way. And those decisions can be argued about by economists as being rational or irrational, but those decisions will be made. So the currency must be backed by gold or silver or other hard commodities and include housing, energy, so that there's a true understanding of what inflation is in the economy. The amount of money in the economy doesn't change. All that changes is the amount of currency produced. You can neither create money or destroy money. Money in itself as a concept is really just an indication of where the economy is at any present particular time. So I'm probably in now part 3 of this video. I'm filming it as one thing. But the problems of America and Europe will not be solved by some sort of the two continents that make up the Western world being at each other's throats, because, not to forget, Australia as well and other Western countries throughout the world are looking to America and Europe to put aside their differences and to work together and to work for a Western world which will basically construct an order in the world that will look after national sovereignty, the sovereignty of individuals, economic, the free market, which should be more egalitarian perhaps as a concept, although it doesn't work, just like communism doesn't because of human nature. So what we need is a bit of capitalism and a bit of socialism, basically a social democracy that works at the point of maximum social benefit, where the point of production and the point of social benefit intercede together to make a point of maximum social benefit, which will bring about a balanced budget in the EU, England, and the United States, and the Western world generally, because there won't be unattainable surplus, there won't be waste, therefore, but there will be a relative equality between people in property owning democracies, which will make up the Western world, where everyone will have a garage, everyone will have a house of reasonable or good size, where people will own their own land and have a vote and be considered as citizens. We're talking about the concept of citizenship, and have the ability to own shares, to be members of unions without people as Paul Krugman said, in the Reagan era, being busted out of their unions, but also the ability to own shares and partake in the stock market, to invest, because you need in a social democracy to both invest in people, as Denmark is doing. If you lose your job in Denmark, you will be trained up to have a better job. We need good quality jobs where people have job progression. This is very important for the Western world. We need to also re-establish a link between pensions and the amount of children people have, so that there's that link restored, and also give people more benefits if they have more children. So now I'm going on towards my Western world, Westmark, US and EU EU unity video. I'm bordering on the territory of that video now, so I'm going to stop, and catch me later there. Give your comments and subscribe to InfoChem channel. Thank you for listening.